Hello, good morning. So today is the 25th day of December 2025. Um, I had a reflection with Ezekiel, the book of Ezekiel 43, verses um, 1 to 27. Then after that, the Lord Spirit led me to verses 5 and 9. And what he said about it is what I'm about to say. So the thing is that he says something like messages are being sent to people, but they are not listening. And I know my own will not be the sort of different, but if you do listen, it will save you from a lot of problems. So I wrote some of the things down. I might be looking into my book to make sure I don't forget anything. So after reading the book of Ezekiel 43 from verses 1 to 27, um, I noticed that all the verses are so powerful. But the Spirit of God led me to verses 5 and 9. And there I found out that there are so many things hidden in these verses. So, the one thing we should understand is this. These two verses I'm about to interpret right now will stand a judge against us before God. So that is why I said at the beginning of this video that if you listen to me, it will save you from a lot of problems. So let me begin. Here, Ezekiel said, according to verse 5, that the Lord Spirit lifted him up and took him into the inner courtroom, and where he saw the temple was filled with the glory of God. The temple, the church. Although the temple has been long ago translated to be our body as the temple of God. But before our bodies became the temple of God, we have a place where we meet, where we call the temple of God. It is only when you go to his presence, he will sanctify you, and then your body will also become his temple. But only in agreement, meaning it has to be a partnership between you and your God. So this simply means that temple, according to the book of Ezekiel 43 verse 5, symbolifies the church of God. Here, it's not talking about your body. Here, it's talking about the church of God, where the faithful meet to pray, to bring their petitions, to bring their problems, and together with the prayers of the saints, everything will be properly attended to. So here, verse 5 of Ezekiel 43 is talking about the church of God. And then, let us go to verse 7. There you will see what God said. God said, "Here is my throne. I will live here among the people, and he will rule over what? Over us. He will rule over us forever." And then he said again that neither will the people of Israel, you Christians, he's not talking of the Israel of so many centuries ago. He's talking of today's Israel, you and I, every Christian, every believer of the word of God, every follower of Christ is an Israelite. He now said, neither will the people of Israel nor the kings, neither will they ever disgrace him again. They will not disgrace him. They will not disgrace his holy name by worshiping other gods or by burying the corpse of their kings in this place. He's still talking about the temple. He is still talking about the temple. Now, you and I are still reading this word of God. We are still reading the book of Ezekiel. And whenever we read, we don't jump over. We read chapter by chapter, every chapters in the Bible. So if you are still reading the book of Ezekiel and you are still a follower of Christ, it means this word of God is talking to you today. God said that we will not disgrace his holy name again by doing what? By worshiping other gods and by burying the bodies, the corpse of the kings in this place. And that is why I have to sit down today to do this video. If not, I will have, collected all my scripts, use a particular app I love using to produce the video, but I write it myself to produce it. But I said, no, I have to do this one by myself. Now listen and listen very attentively. Here, the utterance of God carries weight and reveals deception and manipulations of our times. Remember, he said that he will live here forever, and neither will the people of Israel disgrace his holy name again, nor bury the corpse of their kings in this place. And that is why I say you should listen. Here, you will understand that this, I will say, prophetic words applies to you and I. Whichever country you are, whether developing, or third world, you will agree with me that almost in every 4 streets, there is always a church. Now, what is this church? What will you say those churches are up to? If you look at the population of the Christians in this world, one will expect at least we will be able to make this world a better place. But the case is the reverse. Every day, different types of crimes are coming out. Catch them this time, tomorrow they will invent another means. Here, God is talking to the churches of this generation. And when you see what is going on, you will see that although sometimes it takes time, but he is still revealing the truth. He is still talking to people, and he is even using them against themselves. You that go to a church, and that is where you come in. That is where you come in. You that go to that church, have you tasted the Spirit moving in that church? God says that they will not bury the corpse of their kings again. The altar where your pastor stands to preach, is there anything underneath that altar? What kind of king is underneath that altar? Is the name of God, is the holy name of God disgraced in your church? And know the temple is where our God is where his glory fills, is where we come to pray, is where we bring our prayers, our problems, our petitions. and we expect to leave it there and go home happily. That place where you call your church, where you go every now and then to pour out your spirit, your mind, your soul to. Are you sure that is an altar of God? Are you sure that the presence of God is in that altar? Are you sure that the glory of God is in that altar? Now, let me repeat again. This is where you need the spirit of discernment. And this is where you come in and you have to take an action. There is no excuse for you after listening this, to this video. There is no excuse for you to say that you didn't know. The Bible said, test all spirits. If the altar where you worship is not of God, you are worshiping idol. If the altar where you worship, the glory of God has left that altar, the altar has disgraced the holy name of God, the altar is no longer the dwelling place of God. It carries no presence of God. Rather, it carries the presence of the enemy of God. And that is why God wanted me to do this video by myself. He wants me to tell you people that most of you are worshiping idol and thinking that you are worshiping him. He wants me to tell you people that you are bowing down to man-made God. It is like a whitewashed building. That is how your situation is. You think it is white, but it is whitewashed. If your pastor or where you're worshiping buries something under that altar, the presence of God has left that church. And if you keep on going there to worship, you are worshiping idol and not God. If you like, speak in tongues from now till thy kingdom come. If you like, have the gifts of vision. Remember, by the warning of the false prophets. The Bible you carry around, learn to do what? To read it. Learn to understand it. Learn to digest it. And learn to call the Spirit of God to lead you whenever you want to read it. I repeat again. If you go to a place thinking that the presence is filled with the glory of God, and on that altar something is buried, the holy name of God is disgraced, meaning God has been chased away from that church. Something is replacing God in that church. And when you continue going there, worshiping there, in the name that you're worshiping God, I want you to open your eyes, open your mind, open your ears. You are not worshiping God. You are worshiping idol. And that is wearing the masquerade in the name of God. May God bless.